welcome to the It's Possible show. I'm your host, Antonia Wall, and today, guys, we are in Samaru Village. We are going to be visiting two young men who are dynamic and doing some awesome things in this community. So come along with me as we go to visit and meet one of the guys. Miss Beulah. Hi. Good evening. Hi, Miss Beulah. How are you? Okay, is Gary home?
Yes.
Okay, bring. Thank you. Hi, Gary. Hi. Good. You guys, I want to meet with you guys so we can talk to you guys about what you all did for the Olympics in the community. So, I want to meet Joseph. Where's Joseph? All right.
Hello?
Yes. Okay, all right, well, go ahead. Let's go meet him.
Joe, we want to see you, right?
Hi, Joseph. Well, I can see I in all your backyard, right? So we're going to take a little walk around the community. You'll show me the barbershop and a couple spots, and then we will sit down and chat about this Samaru Village Olympics, all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, well, all right, let's go. Hi, welcome to the It's Possible show. I'm your host, Antonia Wall, and today we're going to be interviewing truly awesome men. And they're truly dynamic in terms of how they relate to each other, and you're going to see it today in our conversation. So today I want you guys to welcome with me both Joseph Drayton and Mr. Gary Hinds. Hi. Guys, thank you so much for having us, and it's a pleasure being here with you guys. So we want to just have a nice, comfortable conversation, and we're going to get into the whole Olympics that you guys put on in Samaru Village. So I want to get from the two of you guys, how did this all come to be? Did you all know each other prior? How did you all team up together to make this possible?
Making a long story short, we more or less we knew each other from the community.
Okay.
I mean, we grew up together, but we wasn't that close.
Okay.
Other than playing with sports, and so within like putting on activities in the community, that's some other guys I used to work with, and it was okay. But the seniors or the more adults.
So, Gary, tell me, how did you get into doing events for the community? Because it seems like this is something that you have a passion for. So how did that start?
Well, it's like following after the older heads.
Okay.
Like, it had some older heads used to do it before, and who gone foreign, who passed away, and it just remained with the community kind of like dead.
Okay.
Like, when it have activities, we had to go outside.
Okay.
So we decided to try and bring it back home.
Okay.
I would always describe Gary as the type of a community activist, for
Okay.
a better phrase.
Okay.
So oftentimes you would see activists put on activities
Right.
in the community.
Right.
And that's what I think I would have seen in the past. Now, I oftentimes try to avoid those political parties and political activities in communities, but activists usually facilitate them because those are the conduits through which politicians and councillors
Yes.
get into communities.
Yes. Yes.
So Gary would have been that, Gary among others would have been the persons who would have been the go-to persons that
Yeah.
they will come to have activities in the community.
Right.
And that was something, I was never really enamored by it because I always try to avoid the political association.
Got you.
But I think what Gary's missing telling you is that it was really us sitting on the corner line in a day.
Uh-huh.
And it was Gary, myself, and Larry who was sitting down. We were talking about what we used to do long time
Okay.
in the village and would keep the community together.
Right.
And then we talked about these sports activities on the street.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Gary had pitched this, I think as you had pitched it, us having it on the field.
Right.
And the argument was, is it better when we have it in the field or in the middle of the community? And that's where the idea happened of us having this community activity.
So it's just
on the
three
street.
guys on a corner sitting down, chatting, and
Yeah.
then this idea just came to be. Okay, so in terms of you guys moving forward from there, did you all decide right then and there, hey, you know what, we're going to set things in motion and make this happen? Or did you all like some time pass and then something came up and you all decided to do it? How did you all move forward from that point of just on the corner talking? Because you know, a lot of people have conversations on the corner and it just becomes like nothing. You know, fellas talk, and it's like, yeah, but you all actually put this into implementation. So how did you all move forward from that point?
Well, more or less, it was now like recovering from violence in the area,
Okay.
heavy crime. And that is where I was saying in the beginning with the adults was kind of like reluctant of coming out.
Right.
So then we come up with like bringing it back home where it used to be.
Okay.
So that the adults who are around still remember how it used to be.
Right.
They will feel more comfortable.
Right.
So we more or less like went at it one time.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and Gary kind of encapsulated what I wanted to say before.
Right.
Because Sangre Village was earmarked as an at-risk community or
Yes.
a hotspot quote
Yes,
unquote,
yes.
there was really rivalries and violence between people within the community.
That knew each other
Yes,
and
people
grew up.
who grew
Okay.
up among each, with each other, among each other, that had their bickerings or falling out. And that is the genesis of the criminal activities or the hotspot activities or the crime activities that would have had in the community.
Yeah.
And that conversation we had on the block kind of was centered around how sports and community type activities prove as a deterrent to crime.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about it, me having an event management background, because
Right.
that's what I do at my substantive job.
Okay.
We were talking about it, and I was saying about when do we do it?
Right.
And then Gary, with his bravado self, was like, well, we could start now.
Nice, nice. So he's an action man. Let me
Yeah,
do
well,
it.
reason being, I'm also a DJ.
Right.
Right, and I have DJ friends.
Right.
I know a lot of artists.
Right.
And when I sit down and think about it, we have everything right at hand.
Right.
Just to put it together.
And bring it
so
together,
it would
yeah.
not really take long. It's
Yes.
just about just getting it together.
Yes.
And make sure it managed the proper way.
So I don't want to skip past because I realized I did skip past some stuff. So you are a DJ
Yeah.
by trade and also you're a barber.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In the community.
Yeah, kinda
so a lot
handy
of
kinda
people- Right.
Yeah, hands,
But, you know, and most barbers, everybody tend to talk to the barber. You know, the barber tend to know a lot going on in the
Yeah.
community.
Well,
you know, so
more or
you're-
less, sometimes I use the barbershop to like promote things.
Right.
Like, as a serious guy, but I try to keep that kind of fun kind of character.
Yeah, but the thing about what I get from you, Gary, is that you hold a position of influence. All right, and people would respect you. You know, yes, there may be some folks who may not, but people who would come to you and talk to you,
Yeah.
you hold a level of influence. And the same way, Joseph, you hold a level of influence in the community because you have a project management background. And what else do you do?
Well, I'm also, at that point in time when we started the activity, I was the president of Aman was the president of the village council.
Okay,
And I'm
okay.
member of the advisory board for the community center.
Within the community.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the council has a responsibility for managing the activities within the community.
Got you.
And the advisory board manages activity within the community center.
All right, so you guys are two guys. Well, I shouldn't say two because there's Larry, as you said. Three guys who hold a level of influence within the community, teaming up together to make this Olympics.
Yeah.
Now, how did you all come up with Samaru Village Olympics? Where did the name come from? How did they decide to use that name?
Well, we took it from the original Olympics.
Okay.
To start with,
Okay.
the concept. So we decided, well, due to the crime in the area, we would divide the area to 4 parts.
Okay.
And we would look for the person who have more influence or seem to be a certain leader in
Right.
each area
To the zones.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
and make them the captain of that team. So they would feel to be...
So question, did you all decide to break it up into zones or is Samaru already broken up into zones?
Nah, we broke it up.
Samaru Village is broken up into zones. Here's how the zones are selected. There are main streets in Samaru Village.
Okay,
So if it is we want to look at it from the past, we would have seen some conflict.
okay,
One of the conflict would have been on one zone versus another zone.
Okay.
There's an area that is Mendes Street Extension that was a squatting area before.
Okay.
We recently formed the part of the community. So the community naturally could be divided into zones.
Okay.
And we were talking about Village Olympics on the whole and how an activity like this could be a birthplace for us to have a team going into the Village Olympics. So we call this our Olympics. We call it
Amaru Village Olympics, right?
As a place where we can now glean and hone talent to go out and represent the community.
Nice. So wait, so you guys literally had like a real big plan for this because all it go past just even having an event.
No.
When you're talking,
No.
the whole diagnosis that happens, eh?
No, as she said, the politics part, I
Yeah.
don't learn anything much.
Right.
Because I was roped into certain groups, political groups.
Right.
And like, to keep a little barbecue.
Right.
It might take about 3 months to
Wow.
develop water. And I say, nah. Because I could do this in a week by myself without this whole group.
Yes.
So, more or less, like the Village Olympics, as you say, if you're familiar with our community, they have a lot of talent.
Right.
Sports, singers, dancers, I mean, you name it. But do have really avenue to channel it through.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so y'all were creating that, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is this as well. What we also realize is that there are established bodies and groups in the community that can provide assistance. So for example, the tables and chairs that we get is the advisory board that provides those.
Okay.
The village council would have been the arm to which we would have engaged.
So
NGOs.
basically, you all leveraged the various groups within the community to assist.
Yes and no. You see, ideally, each one of the groups that exist in the community have a responsibility to provide that kind of activity.
Okay.
And what we realize, and he was just alluding to it there, that if left alone in any one of those groups, it's going to take forever to get done.
Right.
What we can do is connect and engage each of the groups and get it done. And we have the same style. We won't get it done types of person. But all three of us are get it done types of persons. So Larry was the person who we would have been sitting with. And at that point in time, we apportioned all the things that have to be done, sitting on the...
So you all basically outlined it.
Yeah.
Right. And you all broke it up between the three of you guys.
Because as members of the community, we know who does deal with who and who don't deal with who.
Right.
Who could control who and who cannot control who.
Right.
So it was kind of...
And who is the best person to go to who for what?
Yeah.
Yes.
So picking the captains of each zones was a kind of clinical choice.
But the thing about it, what I get from you guys, because this came off very successfully, and for it to come off successfully, you know, even though you all may have come from, you know, different walks of life within the community, there is something that is common between the three of you guys that connected you guys to make this happen. You know, because I go back to the point that a lot of people, and you all also alluded to that with the various groups, a lot of people have great ideas and great things to get done, but at the end of the day, you all came together and still was able to make this Olympics successful. You know, so we want to know, what is the secret sauce? What is the thing? What makes Gary and Joseph, you know, finalize and make it happen and not take and get vexed and walk off? And, you know, people throw down things in the community center and say, forget all the, you know how Trinidadians can get. So what is the secret, I would say, the essence of you guys coming together and executing this job? And by me asking this as well, I'm also going to ask, how did you all get buy-in from the rest of the community? Because you already touched and highlighted of these different groups that you were able to leverage whatever tables, chairs, and so forth. How did you all were able to get buy-in?
Well, I think getting it done. Because other groups will attempt to have things, like we say they plan it for a certain day, they may put it off because it wasn't ready and all this stuff. But we would set a date, even as how close it is, and pull it off.
And
so
fix it.
They would realize we are people who would get things done.
Good.
So it's nothing, it's kind of like, if we go for something on credit, they'll say, yeah, these guys just get things done, that's for sure. So we would pay after, because they know they have a crowd, they have a following.
Gotcha.
It will be easy.
Okay, and you, Joseph?
To answer your first question, it's really why we decided to come together to get it done. It's really love for community and care for the community.
Nice.
Both are products of the community.
Right.
And I think the main goal is that knowing what the community has, the talent and abilities that the community has,
The wealth of
and
resources.
honing those talents, just
Yeah.
for us to see ourselves present ourselves. And that's what really brought us together. But one of these things that was very instrumental is the getting of the resources and the buy-in from the groups that we engage. So for example, a lot of the resources, the infrastructure resources I would have gotten from Bethel Road Outreach Ministries.
Okay.
Because I'm a member of Bethel. And one of the mandates that Bethel has is reaching the community.
Right.
So when I, in our discussion, realized we want to have a community activity where we're engaging the community, and we will need a stage, and we will need tents.
Yes.
And I know the church has a stage.
Yes.
And the church has members who will be able to provide a tent.
Right.
It's easy for me
To leverage those resources.
Exactly.
Yes.
Come to the church, make the request, and they were very happy to provide the stage, provide transport, and
Right.
people to come and build it up. And when we in the program, and we'll kind of outline the program shortly,
Okay.
the persons who facilitate the program, call me Clark from Bethel as well, who's one of the pastors at Bethel. He, in the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, he's
Right.
in the Coast Guard now, and he puts on novelty events. He
Right.
hosts novelty events. So it's easy for me to
To
get
leverage
somebody
that,
in the
right.
church to come
Right.
out and
So
contribute
each
that
of you
component.
came with a level, I wouldn't say a level of backing, but you all came with some resources. So you came with resources of the tents and the stage and people in regards from Bethel. And then for you, Gary, as you said, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
You talked earlier about DJ friends and different
Right,
people
so-
in the music industry.
Yeah, so I would line up things like the sound system,
Okay.
DJs. We have a lot of DJs within the community too. So I would
Okay.
like watch
Coordinate
through
with
and
them.
see like who have little talent that I think should be shown.
Right.
Like, you know, I put them in a little time slot.
Right.
So everybody had the time to display themselves and
Right.
things. Well, I know 1 or 2 artists. I mean, we would pay, but they would still give you at a reasonable
price,
yeah.
right.
Now, the next thing too is like how we say that his resources. Now, as you notice, we have 2 different walks of life.
Yes.
Right. So I noticed I wouldn't tell him that.
Yes.
We wouldn't drown it with his walk of life.
Yes.
And I will try to do the same.
Right. So you all were able to come together and have a balance again for the common goal, as what Joseph just said, for the love of the community.
Right.
And you see, this is why I love this story, because at the end of the day, we are in a bigger country, you know, and within our country, what you guys represent and what you all show in Trinidad and Tobago and all our viewers here today is that we can come together and work together for a common goal. We can put our biases aside and we can come together, and Samaru Village has shown that, and you guys from the village have shown that to us, that it is possible. Hey, you know what? You could even be our pilot to maybe something bigger that needs to happen within Trinidad and Tobago, and they could come and have a conversation with both Gary, Joseph, Larry, and hear how it is, because I know a lot of people watching this today will want to know, but wait, how them really pull that off? Seriously, let me be real, because I know some people watching this thinking a flashback in the community, various people in the community, and they try different things, but the whole thing about it is you're not only talked about it, you're executed it, and it was successful. So with it being successful and having the buy-in of the various people in the community, did you guys experience any challenges, any pushbacks from various people within the community when you all were going through the planning phase and, you know, choosing out your people, even when you pick the different team and captain heads? How did that come off?
I think there was a level of excitement when we first started the conversations about team leads and team groups, because of how the community was zoned. We love competition.
Nice.
So when you hear it have a football tournament, so the event, if I could break it down.
Yeah, sure, break it down first.
Starts at 5K.
Okay.
Starts at a 5K in the morning. Then goes into a kite flying competition.
Okay.
The kite flying competition, so it's for the entire day. After the kite flying competition, we do the novelty events, sport events.
Now it says for the whole day. What time do you all start?
We start at 6 a.m. and we finish at 10 p.m.
Okay.
So it's novelty events during the day.
Okay.
And small goal football during the day.
Okay.
After that, so you either do the novelty before the small goal or the small goal before the novelty, based on the numbers that we have.
Okay.
Then we have a march pass and a robothon, and then the concert, then the evening concert.
As the night draws in.
So at 7 o'clock is when we close off all the activities. We usually start that with either the march pass and then go straight into the concert. The concert climaxes with a guest performer.
Okay.
That's where money spend component of it.
Right,
So
right.
the first event, what we did is we would have gone to the various shops, parlors, and business owners in the community
Right.
to ask them to contribute towards the event.
Nice.
There were some who were very interested in contributing. There were some who were not as interested in contributing. So what we did was just pool the little resources.
Whatever
we had,
you all got, yes.
And then lean on the goodwill of the people to provide tables and chairs, tents.
And what about
and
food?
all
You all
that
provide
activities.
food and stuff at the event?
But that's the trick. And Gary could tell you about that.
Well, yeah and no. Well, we didn't have to.
Okay.
Because like people in the community like came and offered to like bring out things to sell, like who want to sell sauce
Nice.
and different things now. So
Right.
we even had to kind of manage it a bit because like it was starting to get a little out of hand.
Okay.
So we had to like tell, well, you come up this side, you come up a little lower down, and you know.
Okay, so you're
This person
basically
doing
separate.
sauce already.
Okay.
If you want to do sauce still too, because that person doing it already, you'd have this to do, and you
So
know.
basically people came out and they sold.
Yes,
their goods.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So that made up for having food at the event, and the community would basically
Yeah.
patronize them by purchasing.
We have a circle of friends too that we had. Well, I didn't. We'd be so busy. We had our food prepared.
Right.
I would like to give out to people, whoever want, wherever it is. But I even forget about that because we'll be up and down the place.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because I guess as the adrenaline starts going and
Yeah.
pumping on the
And
day,
you
you're just
have to-
like,
Yeah, we are.
When things go wrong, you have to pop in and focus on the primary activity.
Right.
The execution of the events, all the peripheral, non-primary things.
Right.
Take a back seat.
yes,
That
yes.
was it. And it really drives the entrepreneurial side of the community as well, which is what I think he was alluding to, where people who have the ability to produce and prepare food and whatnot, they utilize the event as an opportunity to generate some income and sell food. So the
Right.
second iteration of the event is where you now have people waiting for the event to happen, and then you start seeing barbecue pop up, sauce pop up, soup. This person selling this in the morning.
So
this afternoon,
the
this in
anticipation was just building.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this now. With this whole anticipation, how did you guys communicate with everyone in the community? Because Scarborough Village is not small. So how did you all get the message across? Especially when you all decided the events, the list of the events. How did you all reach out to everyone in the community?
Well, we discussed it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we came up with we're gonna try social media.
Okay.
One. And I think the first year we print some flyers and we actually walk door to door.
Nice.
Who we didn't give, we put it in the mailbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all recruited people to help you all to do that, or it was just the three of you guys?
We wanted them to see who doing it. Yeah. So we went ourselves.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the advantage too, because some people have been so disappointed, and this is my words,
Yeah.
disappointed by underperforming events,
Right.
that if they know it's the usual suspects,
Yes.
yeah.
It was like almost like we was campaigning.
Right.
Because people
Right.
actually was coming out to the gate and saying, wait, this is some nonsense all they keeping here again. And like we tell them, no, this is well organized, we're gonna have this, we're gonna
Right,
have that, come
right.
out please, and they're like,
So did you all hold
All
any
right.
meetings at any
Right,
point in
and
time?
that's where I was going to next, because one of the things that I think was the best seller for the event was assigning team leads to zones. in
Right, the
community.
captains that he was
Which
talking
therefore
about,
means
right.
Mutu Lands responsible team.
Yeah.
You have to go recruit.
Yeah.
Right.
And to recruit, you have to tell people what you're recruiting them for.
Nice.
So
So it
indirectly,
created that word of mouth, right.
in that community down there.
Okay,
And-
okay.
And every Sunday evening, I think it's every second Sunday,
Yeah.
every fortnight, these team leads come and meet, so we discuss at the barber saloon. So we come and discuss where we're at and what we want.
So the barber saloon was like the community meeting
Yeah,
point.
that was
Yeah.
the thing.
Okay,
That was the
okay,
thing.
okay.
And how the event was planned and executed, everything happened within the community. So the 5K is a literal run through the entirety of the community.
Oh, wow.
So people who don't know of the event, or who didn't know of the event, will get up 6 o'clock in the morning and see people
people running, yes,
through the community.
yes.
And you see people running through the community with numbers on them.
Yeah, you want to know what's going on. Yeah, what's going on.
There's music in the central street in the community, which is Church Street. So that
Right.
people now know, hey, this is happening in our community.
Okay.
And they would come out, they will see the schedule of activities because we put up posters in the shops
Yeah.
around.
Yes.
So that people know. So, and that's it. So it's really a low budget advertising.
Right.
Because it's more word of mouth.
But it was
Ah,
impactful.
I believe it worked.
Yeah, it
but
was impactful.
Directed to the community itself. And because our first iteration of the event was a closed community event,
Yeah.
it meant that we are a very small demographic, a small target group, and those are the people we're focusing on. So it's easy to
Yeah.
use our limited resources.
I remember the first year we
Yeah.
had decided we're keeping it within our community.
Right.
If guests come in, they come in, but
Right.
we're focusing on them.
Right.
The second year, we opened it up a little wider.
Okay.
Peripheral communities.
Okay. So how many years have you all been doing this?
So we did it for 2 consecutive years.
Okay.
The third year was obviously hampered by the
COVID, yes.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And that was the disappointment.
Third and fourth.
Okay.
Yes, 2 aircraft now.
Yeah.
Third and fourth.
Well, the thing about it, listen, this story is so amazing because you're talking about word of mouth, and you all were able to impact this whole community by getting this message out. Low budget, yes, but regardless of,
Yeah,
it was
but
impactful.
If you didn't notice, when he said the meetings that we used to keep in the barbershop,
Yes.
right? We bring in all the team's captains.
Right.
Now, remember, they going back to each team,
Yes.
each group.
And they carrying the message. Yeah.
So it was kind of easy to get.
Yeah,
spread.
and let me say something. The thing about why am I focusing on this? A lot of people spend a lot of money on ad campaigns to pull off big parties and so many things. And here it is within your community. You all show that with the resources that you have and using the wisdom and the skills that you all had, you all were able to impact the various zones within your community. You all came up with a plan, executed it, people carried back the message, and they got the buy-in, and people came out to the event, and to see something like that happen again, you guys are showing us, the wider Trinidad and Tobago and the CARICOM region, that here's what, we can do things within our community. We can make a difference. We don't have to sit down and wait for this person to come in and that person to come and tell us how to do it. You guys are literally showing us that it is possible to make this happen. So knowing that you guys have come together and did this, what was the response after the Olympics happened?
I think I was fairly focused on the event. So I really wasn't looking at the persons and people's responses to the event during the event.
Right.
But what was amazing for me is the day after the event, when people who normally don't come out and socialize, and because in communities you'll have people like that.
Yes, they'll always be there.
And they say, hey, Joseph, that was a real good event. When is the next one? We'll have our next one and that next
Nice.
And so I was like, but this thing was really good. And then you go back and look at the pictures. So I'm taking pictures and doing videos of every event. Because as a part of the event.
Right.
And it's when you go back through the pictures and you see the people who are there. The faces, you see how engaged people are in the videos, how you see people screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
People bought into their teams.
Yes.
And they're celebrating small victories.
Yes.
That's when you realize how we were able to transcend all the different boundaries and be able to interact and connect.
Yeah, and you all brought a love into the community, because I'm sure after that, when you started off telling us that yes, there were crime in the community, but that actually transcended the crime in the community, where people were able to come together, and it created a love, because we know previously that Samaru Village was a hotspot, but now you don't hear that about Samaru Village. It's like, even with you guys putting on the event, it helped change the image of the community, and that's what I love about this story. So you're getting the buzz of people, and all you hear people asking when it happened. I'm sure, Gary, people come to the barbershop asking, hey, when this happening again? So what made you all decide to go at it the second time?
I think it was success at the first, but I don't want to overtalk, but I want to join in by thanking the guys at the police service, specifically Sergeant Cassie. Because when we went up to notify them that we are going to have an event on a public holiday, and I was honestly expecting administration, forms to fill out, payments to make, and the police were very heartened to support and facilitate the event. So much so they allowed us to block the street for the event, to have the event. And they would periodically pass and monitor just to make sure the event.
So you all are telling me you all even had buy-in of the TTPS?
They had to do come and do a community check.
Which is that comes with what they have to do, but still you all had the support and the buy-in of them.
Because I can remember particularly that night, like a different team of police came through, and they were like, how come this still going on here? So we told them who we was connected to and whatnot, and he said like, all right, other areas that they locked them off because there's fight here, violence here, so they was kind of surprised how everything was just going smooth. And he said, well, they give you a certain timing, what time you finishing and thing, and he said, all right, don't make a wrong again, and
I love it.
What's
I mean,
that?
I really, really love it. Do you guys think that this is something we can duplicate throughout Trinidad and Tobago?
But that was the plan. So what we had discussed, and this is the barbershop conversation, barbershop postmortem.
Okay.
um, we were discussing if it is we refine the event and make it clear. So the first event we would have had, we would have made some tweaks to it.
Right.
And we would have a second event where before we would have engaged people in the shops and the communities. And
Right.
that proved difficult to cover the cost of the event.
Right.
Second version of the event, we went through the village council to seek sponsorship for key costs in the event.
Right, because you would have learned from the previous
And
one. Right.
Yeah.
Once we now have a budget for the successful execution of the event without any struggles or begs,
Right.
then we thought we'd take that model now and just hand it to another at-risk community.
Okay.
Because people within their own communities usually are able to engage and relate to each other
Yes.
without any issue.
Yes.
And then we could have had that one in each of the communities.
Yes.
And then accentuate the existing village Olympics.
And I love
where you
it.
have all these communities
Yeah.
come together at a place.
Because what you all are basically showing here is a solution to dealing with crime in smaller communities. You know, we're looking on the grander scale. Our government is seeking to find out what to do with crime, what to do with crime. And here it is. These guys in Samaru village already come up with a solution, executed the solution, showed that it was possible. No, we had to put Samaru village on front stage this weekend. We need people to know this because great things are coming out of Samaru village, and not just the individuals, but you'll actually literally hand Trinidad and Tobago a solution, and not only just handed us a plan, but you all actually showed us it can work, you know. And I love it because at the end of the day, a lot of times we hear thousands of dollars jump up here for this and that, and look how you guys were able to execute this with a very low budget. Now we're not saying that there were chinks on the money going forward, because there are ways I'm sure
I
they can
understand what you're saying,
improve.
but really and truly,
Yeah.
just how you said it, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I saw it. That first one, whoa.
$3,800.
Wow.
And the
No,
entire
no,
event
no,
was-
Joseph.
Come
No,
on.
no. Are they serious?
No.
We need to stop for that.
It have people
38?
used to come like the
Wow.
next day and say, wait, I know they make real money, you know, but
Yes.
I know they make real money. I see last night, and they don't know, we just,
Yeah.
Because it's the first event. The first event, when we planned it, we actually went to members in the community who gave a little $100, a little
Yes.
$40, a little $60, a little $200
Yes.
on the day of the event. And when we ran the event, we positioned it in a place where we'd get water and drinks by the bar. So we put the stage close to the bar, so if people want water and stuff, they have stuff there. So it seems like the event is resourced.
Yes.
We just tap into community
Yeah.
resources.
Yes.
And when the event was finished, we found out the bar sold out. Every single thing in the bar sold out. And that's when we realized, but wait, we struggled to put together this whole event.
and somebody eating
And
a
somebody-
whole cake.
So that's why we thought, let's refine the event in such a way where we get sponsorship, provide resources, provide some drinks so that we can recoup some of the cost.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
easy now where they'd notice what happened the year before.
Yes.
So it was easy for them to give something because they
Yes.
know, well,
Yeah.
the returns will be big.
And you all had lessons learned, you know, from the first one. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they had a lot, so you all were able to refine in the areas and, you know, put it on a second time successfully with the necessary changes that needed to happen, you know. And again, guys, I'm sure Trinidad and Tobago, you all need to thank these fellas here. You all need to big up Samaru Village, all right, because they are giving us the solution. And I'm hoping that this will go even further to fulfill the dream that the two of them have come together, because I really agree this could be something that can be replicated in our community. So what is next for Samaru Village?
I think it's
Well, we were going on to episode 3, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we had already started planning it. We was going to do it more or less virtual.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
we had planned to pop a screen on the outside.
Okay.
We had a after party lime and all, but then the restrictions of the COVID
Right.
started to kind of, so we couldn't line up with it no more and
Right.
got to put it off.
But I'm sure you guys are still buzzing and coming up with ways of.
So that event is set plan.
Yeah,
Every Easter Sunday, from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., the event as it is structured will come off.
so
Nice.
it's like we have it in a bag put away. So when the
Okay.
time comes, we just pull it out
You're ready to pull
and
out.
let's go.
Okay.
What share with her is that because we realized how well that event fit in the slot,
Nice.
and now we have the community buying from it, since seeing that, once these guys produce an event, this is the quality of the event.
Yes,
It
yes.
gives us the resource now to do other things. So we would have been planning a food fair
Okay.
and a summer version or August, July, August vacation version
Okay.
of that event.
Nice.
That's when the pandemic hit. So
Okay.
we weren't able to resource it. But
Okay.
I know that we could have even talked about the event without some key persons who would have significantly contributed to the event.
Okay.
I want to especially pick up Bethel Road Outreach Ministries for constantly supporting us.
Nice.
Resource. Kwame Clark.
Yes.
Kel Itas always, even when a $1,300 budget base, Kel sponsor or $1,300 event.
Yeah.
Always, willing to contribute towards stuff in the community, either
Nice.
physically or financially.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
We had guys who would have put on, provided the tents for us. I know Gary has the slow music producer.
Yeah, so Gary, who you would like to big up and thank?
I would say, I would start with the artists and them because they give you a nice, I would say, a discount.
Yeah.
Because, that price would have been. So you say, Sasha, King David, Prophet Benjamin, a lot of the local artists, let me say local in our community, yeah, plenty of them. I can call all of them.
Yeah.
The dancers, the DJs, let me say Studio 8, Star Life, DJ Jerry 3.0.
And these DJs, I remember you said they come from within the community,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's guys from within the community.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's really good to see that, you guys were able to bring all of these individuals together under one common goal for the love of Samaru Village.
Like most of the time, like when we organizing these events,
Yeah.
we try to deal with what we have
Yes.
and then what we don't have. We try
You
to
go
get
outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so like the bigger artists, we don't have no big international artists, so we can't get that. But we
Yeah.
have artists.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so we need the bigger artists as
Yeah.
the main.
And that's good.
And groups like La Creole Folk Performers,
Yeah.
they form part of the novelty activities,
Okay.
the group sporting event activities, and the march past and performances.
Yeah, to say the Creole, the leader of that band, I think we lost her just about last week,
Okay.
Natalie Garcia.
Okay.
Yeah, a real hard worker.
Condolences.
Yeah.
Okay.
Antonia and her family.
Yeah, we go miss sheep. Yeah.
She was instrumental in
Yeah.
organizing Church Street South,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
a P team, with the winning team for the first year
Yeah.
Okay.
in the event. And she passed a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Rest in
Condolences
peace,
to her.
Natalie.
Yeah. Well, wow,
Yeah.
guys, we really want to just thank you guys, and we pray that you guys will continue to keep up the good work. I mean, the message across the board is that it is possible to put on these events in our communities, and that you guys can pull together the resources within your communities, leverage that to make this project come off. And we look forward to seeing more Olympics from Samaru Village and beyond Samaru Village. So we're expecting to see, a wider event taking place, and I know you guys said you'll have a plan that you'll are able to hand over to other communities and so forth. What would you guys tell me as it relates to the community, your reason, apart from the love for Samaru Village, and you guys may come together at the barbershop and talking to each other and so forth, what other reason drives you guys for doing this Olympics?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a driver, but one of the things that I was encouraged by when we were hosting when we were planning the event, was a realization that a lot of the events that happen in communities now, it's funded by either an MP or a council. So people expect the MP to give them money. People expect the councillor to give them money. People expect some government official to come with some money to give them to run activities. I see communities not doing anything, not doing the traditional fundraising activities to host events. And that is what was the kind of encourager for me to see, can we put on a successful event without having to depend
outside funding
official to fund it. And that's how we had the first version, which is the struggle version of it.
I did the 100 one.
Yeah, we actually went to people in the community and sold them the idea. We're having this in our community. We're going to direct people to buy stuff for the event from your outlets in the community. So we want you to contribute.
Yeah.
We didn't get much, but with the little that we got, we were able to put on.
Yeah, and if you think about it, I love about this is little becomes much in the master's hands. Y'all prove that is that y'all took what y'all had from the various talent within the community, the $3,800 that they came up with from the various contributors within the community, and y'all still get the job done. And that's why, you know, this entire story of Samaru Village Olympics is such a beautiful story, because again, y'all are showing us, the wider nation of Trinidad and Tobago, that it is possible, that we could take our little 100 and 200 and pull it together. Gary knows some DJs come from the community. You could talk to your church members, various people that you know can speak, another person, whatever Larry could contribute, he contributed, and together y'all were able to pull off a dynamic event that impacted your community so much with just $3,800 y'all started off with, and then y'all were able to have a second event after that, and then even after the second event, if COVID didn't happen, there was going to be a third and a fourth and a fifth. Exactly, you know, and knowing that this now has become a part of the yearly event for Samaru Village, you guys made an impact. You know, even if y'all don't go on to do anything after that, I'm sure that there are young people, older people, people middle age and in between will say, yeah boy, Gary and Joseph and Larry, boy, yeah, we remember them. Them boys could put on something. I'm sure there are people who will talk about you guys that y'all would not even know about, and your name getting called just because of you guys making that decision to get the job done, to go forward, put aside whatever biases it may have, and come together for the common goal of Samaru Village. And that's what we want for the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. So we must applaud you guys. We must applaud you guys, because you're showing us that it can be done, you know. And even that with what Joseph, you said, that you'll actually have a plan of action now. You're giving it up, right? You say you will hand it over to the next community.
When we say we could replicate it in other communities, so
right.
What we would have done here, we could literally pick that up now and put it in another community, community's resources, and do the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I really love it. And I know people are going to be applauding you guys. And I know this is not the end. We're going to hear more about Gary and also Joseph and Larry. We're going to hear about the three of you guys. All right. We just really appreciate what you guys are doing, and we look forward to hear more from you guys. So again, from the It's Possible show, we want to say thank you, Joseph. We want to say thank you, Gary, and thank you to Larry, who is not here, and to the wider audience. We want to let you guys know that God used ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And on behalf of our team here at It's Possible show, we look forward to seeing you guys next week Sunday at 6 p.m. on the SFC Broadcasting Network, both on our YouTube, our Instagram. Check us out, and we look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you, and God bless you.